welcome everybody to this week's episode of Nitty Gritty. We are here with the world famous Khyl and Michelle Shumway.
Hi.
Thank you. That's quite the introduction.
So
World famous.
we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today with you guys. I feel like it's going to be hard to condense it into one episode. So we're going to do our best though.
How long are your episodes usually?
Oh, probably like an hour
Okay.
has kind of been.
I don't remember the last time we only were an hour.
We're only going to need
It's
50
been like 90
I-
minutes lately.
If we go now, I'm wearing three and a half, almost 4 layers. I might sweat through all 4 of those if we go the full hour, and that's okay.
We're just going to start stripping layers as we go.
Yes.
So we originally met you guys through Betsy Mexel. She made us the introduction and said, you guys have got to have these guys on the podcast.
We love the Mike Cells,
So
for sure.
thank you for coming on. And you guys have all sorts of stuff going, but mainly they are the co-founders of Rad Swim, right?
That's correct.
The
Founders.
swimsuit company, the founders. And
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is my job on the podcast is not to know anything. So I can just like come up with, fresh, I don't know.
And have
what you wanna call it.
genuine, excited
Yeah, organic.
responses.
Like, wait, you
Whoa.
really? I
What do
stare
you
in there
do?
every time I'm at Fizz.
Yes.
Like, there's some cool
That's the
stuff
goal.
in the window.
Why
Yep.
haven't you come in? That's my question.
Well, I haven't seen any big and tall signs yet. So
Yeah, we do have some
It just hurts
double
my
and triple
feelings.
extra large men's suits.
then I'll come in.
Yeah.
I'll make
because
sure
we've been
they're not
staring at
used to
you in the
drive-through.
Fizz
Dude, we'll hook
drive-through
you up.
line. Why is he coming in?
Just like,
just
little fit.
pointing to them out the window.
We'll hang those up in the window from now on.
There'll be curtains for you. It'll be great.
So how did you guys start with that? I mean, we got a lot of other stuff we'll get to, but I'd like to just start with there. Like, where did that idea first start? When did you know you wanted to start a swimsuit company?
Michelle has a really good story. Michelle, take it away.
Well, it's actually kind of a spiritual one, so hopefully that's okay.
Of course.
So it was just a really strong feeling I had. We have 4 daughters, and we wanted to have a 5th baby, and that ties in a little bit. But out of the blue, as we're like, yeah, let's have a 5th baby, out of the blue, one day I just had this really strong feeling to start a modest swimwear company. And I literally jumped out of bed and I was like,
And she was on bed rest.
was I in bed rest yet? Maybe. But the pregnancy, I ended up being on bed rest for a long, extended period of time, which is where I just started building the company because I was like, I had this strong feeling to do it, and I don't know how, but I'm just going to do it because that was the feeling I had. And
Just
luckily,
out of nowhere. I mean, had you had any experience in fashion or clothes or anything like that before?
not fashion or clothes, but I do love business.
Okay.
Like I've always just loved business ideas. And maybe I got that from my dad. He owned a business and just inspired me. And luckily, I have a supportive husband who, instead of just being like, that's random, he's like, okay, like just totally supportive the whole time. So I found my manufacturers while I was on bed rest with this pregnancy, and we
You
took
make
out a
that
loan.
you make that sound so easy. Oh yeah, I just found some manufacturers.
Well, I just this is my goal. My goal was I'm just going to work on it 10 minutes a day. I was like, I don't know what to do, but I know if I just work on it at least 10 minutes a day, we'll just see what happens.
Okay.
And everything was so meant to be. Like, I just found the perfect manufacturers actually really quickly. And
How did you do that?
I just started with like researching different and just getting samples. Like,
Okay.
hey, send me a sample of what you can make, and then once I found some that I loved, I just stuck with them, and I still use those same manufacturers
We
today.
had a little bit of a history in sourcing product. Prior to this, we had a stroller company where we had to find a manufacturer for that. And so
yeah, I just
we
kind of
had
watched
a little
Khyl.
bit of a little bit of background.
Yeah.
And her dad did, car parts, and so we kind of had watched him and a little bit of his sourcing process. So
Yeah.
So you kind of came from that. You had that entrepreneur side kind of built in, it sounds like.
Totally. Like in junior high, I wanted to start a board game business and a bowling alley and just random I just had random business ideas, I guess.
So where did so we've talked to some fashion designers in here, but it seems like there always was like an experience that made them go like, okay, we need to create this. Like, was there
Because
something
they
that
couldn't find
happened?
it or something like that.
Right. Like, and that's anything like that, like anything that just said like, okay, all these bathing suits are skanky. I need to build some better swimsuits.
There definitely was some of that, actually. Like I just remember being on Pinterest and seeing a Victoria's Secret swimsuit and being like, that is so cute. Why can't it be modest?
Right.
It had like a sequin top. And so that was one of my first swimsuits. So I was like, let's make a sequin topped one piece.
Okay.
And
you wanted to make one pieces more
fashionable.
More fashionable.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like we couldn't find a modest bathing suit. It was more just they're kind of boring.
Right.
Okay.
I just wanted more. And then it kind of turned into also a tween. Like I really wanted to market to the tweens and the teens who I felt like needed more modest options. You know, there's just a lot of little kid things in big sizes, but not a lot of grown up, mature, modest things for littler sizes.
Huh.
So
that's smart.
That's
that's the thing. They're so conscious now about how they look, you know, with social media and stuff, even in middle school and like early high school. It's like, I don't want my daughter wearing a little bikini, but that's what a lot of them are doing. So if you can give them a good looking alternative that's modest, that's huge.
Yeah, we've got it. We've got a lot of cute tween suits. So
well, I know that. I know that Taya, it's like we can't go to Fizz without her asking to go into Rad.
Yay!
Oh, nice.
Anyway,
that's cool.
Awesome. I'm happy.
How old is that's your daughter?
Yep, she's 12.
12.
She's my oldest.
Bring her in. I'll hook her up.
Oh my gosh, she would freak out.
Yeah.
When you were designing them for the tween specifically, did you have your daughters in mind? I mean, is that kind of why you were doing it? It's like, I want to create something that they're going to be able to use.
Yes, that. And also, a lot of our business has just been run by intuition, just really strong feelings. And I've always loved the youth. I don't know why, but I love teaching the youth in church and just being around the youth. And I just feel passionately about also having a place to maybe hopefully inspire them. So a lot of it isn't just about clothing. I like having a platform where I can put out goodness and light and hopefully inspire young people too.
That's awesome. So. What age group do you teach in Sunday school?
Right now, 15 and 16-year-olds.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm 13, 14.
Oh, I love it.
It's like a rodeo every other week. My gosh.
It's the best.
They're fun, but man, now I've like inherited 3 kids from your age group. They don't like their teacher, so they just started showing up to mine, and
that's how you know you're good.
Oh my gosh, I have like 14 kids in there. Anyway,
are you bringing treats?
Luckily, the other guy remembers because I forget to do my lesson until like halfway through sacrament meeting. Yeah. So let alone remembering treats.
Let the spirit guide.
That's right. That's right.
So how did it go from 10 minutes a day to like actually launching a business? Like how long were you just kind of casually doing it, and how quickly did it become kind of an obsession, a passion, a business?
I love that you asked that, because that is exactly the 10-minute thing did not last long, because I could not believe how much I loved it. I can't believe I haven't been doing fashion my whole life because of how much and it's even still like I think about it so much, it's crazy, but it's because I love it. And I really feel like Heavenly Father knew that I would love that. And I feel like it was just, that's part of the inspiration behind it. And I guess I'd never really finished the story, but we ended up losing that baby. It was a boy, and he was born 15 weeks early. My water broke, and he went straight to the NICU and didn't survive. He lived for 12 hours. But it's so interesting to me just to see the big picture and to know that it was part of the plan and that it was okay. Heavenly Father gave me something to then look forward to and something else to grow. So we launched Rad Swim technically like 3 months after we lost Rockwell. That was his name.
Wow. I love it, because we talk a lot about you can assign meaning to events, and something like that is extremely sad and tragic, but you were able to assign a different meaning to it. You just said, it's part of the plan. I know that it was something good can come from this, which ended up being the business. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool way to stay connected to him too. To
Rockwell.
That lives on. Yeah.
Totally. We have a suit named after him, the Rocky.
That's cool.
And I just think that was, like I said, it was just part of the plan. And it's cool that we were given this little tender mercy. I've always thought of Rad Swim like that. Like, it's a sign to me that there's a God who cares about us and loves us and wants us to be happy and he knows things ahead of time. And if we just listen to what he wants us to do, we'll be happy.
Right.
So
Very cool.
yeah, there's the spiritual side of it.
I like it.
And my side of the story is that how did it go from 1 hour to much more? I think Michelle's being kind of modest in her long answer. I think we realized quickly that she's really good at this. So we initially ordered, Michelle can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 2 different swimsuits, about 300 suits each. And it was kind of scary because we used a lot of our stroller money and we kind of reallocated it over to this. And we're like,
We took a loan out on our car.
yeah, are these going to sell? If not, can we sell them on Amazon? And so we're thinking about all these alternative options, but we totally did not even need to. And it was in the glory days of Instagram when you could grow a lot really quickly. And that's, we took advantage of that and people just became instant fans. So
is that how you
job.
started? Like marketing that was your strategy, was Instagram, kind of go social?
It was. And I actually, while I was on bed rest, I was researching, okay, who could I collaborate with? And I had this friend who, well, she wasn't a friend at the time. I just was a huge fan. I don't know if you guys know Late with Kate.
Oh, yeah.
She was on.
Was she on?
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
I tell her all the time, I feel like she's one of the reasons we succeeded, because when I had 9 Instagram followers, I went to one of her pop-up shops.
and we're like, this girl has 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
And it was a huge number.
That was a big
for
deal
sure.
back then.
Yeah.
And I remember being so nervous, and Khyl gave me courage. He's like, just do it. You can do it. Just walk up to her. And I was like, hi, I'm starting a swimwear company. Would you like to design a swimsuit?
Oh, you asked her to design a swimsuit?
I asked her to design a swimsuit, and I didn't know what I was doing, but she agreed. And we went to lunch, and she designed the Kate. And just having her back me up, gave me enough courage to just keep moving forward. And I went and met with Call to Surf pretty soon after meeting with Kate, actually, and they picked up our swimsuits right away, all of them.
Isn't the entrepreneur community amazing? How everyone
my
just kind of
gosh.
supports everyone. It's total abundance mentality. It's like,
Yes.
oh, you're starting a business. How can I help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
That's so rad.
Yeah,
Rad.
literally, right?
That's all you did there.
That's good. Yeah, I especially this area. There's something about Utah. I feel like anyway, really grateful for all the help.
And I love Utah is very supportive of women businesses too. I just want to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah. I mean, our podcast is full of women business owners. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
So
it's so great. I mean, Betsy and you guys have probably had them all on. They're so great. And I feel like they're so successful and the community is really in support of that.
Yeah.
So
Khyl, while this was happening, are you working full time doing something else while kind of she's on bed rest or?
No. So as the bed rest was over and things got launched, so I built the website and I kind of helped with.
Wait, back up. You actually were building custom furniture. Remember?
I was.
You were.
So I was kind of starting to ramp up a new business where I was going to build some custom furniture and then source it. I was going to import it from China. And as I started getting into that and doing some more stuff, I realized quickly that, holy crap, Michelle's making tons of money. And so I just kind of put the furniture thing on hold. I'm like, let's help her get this off the ground real quick.
Oh, is this the furniture?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just showing some pictures of his awesome furniture.
I
He
haven't
can't
posted
downplay.
on there.
He's so talented.
I haven't posted on there in 8 years or something.
Well,
but yeah,
that's your-
I left that in the dust. Just Rad Swim started doing so well.
Awesome.
But anyway, just random stuff. But anyway, it was cool because I have I have a mixed bag of skills that just have lended themselves really well to Michelle's business. So I can build websites. I feel like I am pretty good with photography. Michelle's a great model. So that made a really good fit. I could take pictures, she could model.
It
and
couldn't have gotten off the ground with Khyl. It really was just like he's saying, but he's being modest. He was building websites for people already, just freelance. Yeah. And so he's like, I'll just build your website for you. How convenient is that?
Yeah.
And then he has this nice camera and he's loving photography. And we don't know what he's going to do with it, but he just naturally loved it. And so he just started taking pictures for us. We'd go on family vacations and he'd take pictures of me and the girls in our swimsuits, and everything just worked together.
That's awesome.
Perfectly.
I feel like they're fighting with compliments. Does
You
anybody
were
else sense
cuter.
that? It's I feel like she's being modest. She did this, and this, and well, listen, Kyl's really talented. It's almost like they're taking jabs with compliments. It's really cute. I've never really seen that before. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys know that I saw that.
Oh, thank you.
Adorable.
Did you guys have any concerns about being business partners? Were you worried about trying to have a line between family and business, or is that something that you were even thought about?
I actually thought it was the best because I always I'm a tag along person, wife, and I always loved hanging out with Khyl. Like, he's my best friend and he's so much fun. So to me, it was perfect. I was like, hey, no, like, you have to tag along with me.
And I had been working just at home doing the strollers and just doing the websites. And strollers, she did a lot of that with me. And we kind of had worked together.
We'd probably started like 5 other small businesses before this together.
Oh, really?
So
Like what kind of stuff?
So the strollers.
Swap meet.
Oh my gosh. It's interesting
without
she
laughing.
brought that up. Oh,
I was just thinking about it
gosh.
this morning. That's why.
Wait, you
I
wanted to
guess
start a
technically
swap
that
meet?
is the first
No, we were
business we started together.
We, like a year after we married, we moved to Hawaii spontaneously, and we decided to sell. We had this idea, if we could sell people's pictures on their shirts while they're on vacation, people might think that was cool to have their picture on their shirt.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Looking back, it's the craziest idea, but we did it. We bought a printer. We put up a booth in the
We
swap
set up
meet
a booth at the swap
in
meet,
Hawaii.
and we sold 2 people shirts. We'll take your picture right now and come back in 5 minutes. We'll have a shirt with your picture on it. Oh,
Isn't
my
that kind of
goodness. It
cool?
was so
I
funny.
mean, it could be cool. It could
Yeah.
a
I
little
just
too
didn't
labor
know
intensive.
tourists went to swap meets, like when they're in Hawaii.
Dude, it's
But
famous.
I love swap meet. Like, I grew up in Southern California. It's like
Yeah.
swap meet
They're all
Saturday
over the
mornings.
place.
Like you just go.
Yeah.
I wish we had that here.
Oh, we started a wedding reception business. That was cool. That was taking
Yeah.
off.
And then the reception center got sold.
Yeah, that was.
We're like, wait,
cancel the weddings. It's been sold.
there was one wedding scheduled. Anyway, that was
Yeah.
funny. Just random stuff, just totally random stuff. But anyway, I think all that kind of, helped prepare us to work together.
So with all of those things, were any of them, they might not have worked how you wanted to? Did it discourage you from trying something else? Or was it all just kind of motivation to keep trying to find the next thing?
Really, it was kind of just for fun. Like, I just think business is fun.
Yeah.
And why not try new things?
Yeah.
Like, as long as your risk isn't, I guess, put your life in too much jeopardy, it's okay. I think it's fun to take risks. So we are definitely both risk takers. So that works well.
Did you ever have anyone be like, all right, no, you guys need to stop. You need to go try to do something else. Or Khyl, you need to go get a real job. Stop trying to start all these businesses. Or are people pretty supportive of all of the stuff you've been doing?
I think other people were supportive, and I think a lot of that criticism comes from inside. A lot of entrepreneurs don't necessarily have, especially the successful ones, they don't have a lot of the self-doubt, but I do. I have a lot of self-doubt, and it's something that's kind of difficult to battle with and just kind of like have to get through it or whatever. But
how have you been able to? Because obviously, if you just look from the outside looking in, I wouldn't guess that, right?
Yeah.
All the different businesses and the successes that you've had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so how,
it was
how have you
scary.
been able to do that?
It was scary for a while. I mean, we were living like in Provo, and we bought a duplex. So we lived in half of it and rented out the other half of it. And sometimes it was like, am I going to be able to build enough websites to support or whatever, to make the house payment or whatever? Or if we try this new thing, like doing strollers, are we going to be able to sell them or whatever? So yeah, it's scary. And a lot of times you just kind of have to wait till you're a couple months into it before you see if it's going well or not. But I think one thing that Michelle does really well with is she's so positive and she's so optimistic, and it makes her such a good business owner. And I've been able to kind of like sign on to that, and I'm sold.
I just feel like if you feel passionately about something and you have a strong desire to do it, you just follow that passion. I'm such a believer in that. I think one of my the very first post on Instagram was a Steve Jobs quote. It was like, have the courage to follow I can't remember it exactly. Now I need to look it up.
Don't
But-
let the noise of other people's
Opinion drown out
your own intuition. Is
It's
that a
not that
different
one. That's a different one. I think it's just have the courage to follow your passion, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And it takes courage, but if you have the passion and the desire to do it, I think those are feelings that you shouldn't ignore. And you just never know where it's going to go. So
when did you guys know that Rad was different than the other stuff you were doing? Like, when did you guys know, like, okay, this might be bigger. We're going to put more time, effort, energy, money into it. Like, when did that kind of point happen?
I think like 3 months after launch.
yeah, I would say even before that.
We
like
launched
as soon
in
as we
January.
sold our first couple suits, I was like, this is working. Like people are buying these from just seeing on Instagram. Holy cow, this is crazy.
It was really encouraging seeing like Instagram comments, like people are tagging their friends saying like, this is so cute. This is like one of the cutest one pieces I've seen, and you have to buy this. And I think at one point we had like 5,000 or 6,000 followers, and we did a giveaway. And we got like over 30,000 comments. It just went crazy.
30,000
Yeah.
comments?
And for like a brand new Instagram account, it was insane
Holy
for
smokes.
us.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So we had like just a lot of good
a lot of
feedback
good support.
and
Yeah, a lot of
support.
good feedback.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, how did, I guess, what was that progression like? Like, when did it really kind of take off on the Instagram world? I mean, something that you have a specific suit, or maybe you partnered with a specific person that kind of set you off, or is it just kind of gradually you've just kind of built on top of each success?
I would say almost more gradual. There were definitely things that I felt like jump-started us. The Kate collab was like my favorite one I always go back to. But then I collaborated with a lot of other local people who were all super supportive, and giveaways with, you know, Call to Surf and other companies like that really helped.
Were you guys like social media people at the time?
No, actually social media scared me. Like Kyle convinced
Were
me.
you
He's
even
like,
on Instagram?
I might have been. Maybe I posted a couple times, but I just naturally feel like I'm kind of a shy person when it comes to stuff like that. But Kyle, luckily, he gave me a lot of courage. He's like, you've got to post something of yourself wearing a swimsuit. And I'm like, okay. So I just remember we went to the garage and I was like, waist up, that's it. You know, maybe I can do that. And then just slowly just built up the courage to.
Yeah, 'cause that's quite the jump from being private to here I am in a swimsuit.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the world.
Oh my gosh.
And
so
I will
scary.
say, this is not Michelle's thing. Being in front of the camera is not, she's just, I don't know. She's just so humble.
Oh.
But yeah, I think a lot of influencers, it works well for them because they like kind of like showing what they're passionate about, and especially in terms of like showing themselves or whatever. And that just does not come naturally to Michelle, which is a compliment. You know,
Thank you.
she's very modest. So it's been crazy to see how far out of her comfort zone she's had to get just to post a picture of herself is so difficult. And then adding the fact that she's in a swimsuit. Anyway, I just think she's had a lot of courage.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
That would be really tough.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, respect for
We're
that.
about to invite you guys to a photo shoot, so build up your courage.
I'm going to say pass.
You have that triple XL singlet bathing suit that I wanted to collab with. The Bam Bam. We'll call it the Bam Bam.
Bam, bam.
Borat.
Totally.
Yeah, the Borat.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so funny.
So great.
So what types of things, I mean, have you been able to bring your kids into the business at all on the swimsuit side?
So actually, it's been really fun to see our daughters be inspired by it. And actually, our oldest daughter started her own company. And they're still involved in Rad Swim. Like, they'll be in photo shoots, and they're super supportive with whatever we need. But to see them want to venture out and do it themselves is really rewarding to me. So our oldest daughter, Taylor, she's 14. She has her own clothing line.
Oh,
Little
really?
plug, Taylor Nicole Apparel. And she's designing suits for just youth and women.
Design, not suits.
I say.
Yeah, like dresses.
Dresses and jumpers and shirts, just cute.
So are you still kind of full-time designer? Like, is that,
Yeah.
so all the suits are kind of your babies?
With Kyle. So Kyle does my prints
Okay.
for me, which is so nice to have an in-house, graphic designer. I don't know if I could let go of the design. That's how much I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my gosh, I've got to make this cheetah suit or whatever. And I still pray all the time for inspiration on what to make next, because I know that it's not like I said, I didn't go to design school and I don't feel like I'm the biggest fashionista, but I know that I can pray for help and receive guidance. And it's so fun to see that like happen.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to hear. I mean, you say that, and we've had other people who have either been in, design. Corey Stevens, who does Taft, the shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
cool.
Corey's still like, I don't look at myself as a designer. It's like, Corey, you are really good at designing.
Yeah.
Like you
He's
obviously
like the
are
foremost men's shoe designer in the country.
But like when you talk to him, he says, I'm not creative. You know what I mean? And hearing you like, who am I to be doing this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you just put it out there and you just kind of keep working at it.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Do you have people who come to you and, are looking for help or advice on getting started? And would you do anything different if you got that feeling today about, hey, I need to start a business?
Yeah.
Would you do anything different today, knowing what you know than when you started?
Actually, no. And no, isn't that weird? I can't think of anything I would change. I made a lot of mistakes, but I needed to make those to learn. And it's a trial and error process, but I appreciate all the failures that taught me how to be more successful, you know? And I'm glad I didn't know what it would turn into. I think I would have been scared.
For sure.
It was good that it started small and it was just kind of line upon line. And
what was your goal when you started? Like, did you have, I want to make X amount of dollars? I mean, a very common theme in this room from these women business owners was, I just want to go to Target and I want to buy whatever I want. And that was the whole reason I started my business was to be able to go to Target. I mean, did you have anything in mind when you started on where you were trying to get or what you wanted to build?
I'm trying to think if I did. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I was honestly following just a passion and I didn't really know why, but I just knew I had to follow it. So it wasn't about money. It wasn't definitely not about like Instagram following or fame or anything like that. I just knew I was loving it and I felt like I was supposed to do it for some reason. So, and I felt like, and now looking back also, I feel like it's led us in different directions I did not think it would. So because of our collaborations, we started collaborating with a lot of YouTubers and just sending swimsuits to these different YouTubers. And then we started to see the YouTube world a little bit. And Khyl started a YouTube channel for our family. And that's brought our family so much joy and been so great. And I feel like things like that, maybe that was part of the line upon line. Like maybe I still wonder sometimes why we started Rad, like why we have Rad Swim. I'm still looking for the why, but not afraid to follow it to find out. And if it's for the YouTube channel, if it's to inspire maybe one person, I don't know. But just taking it day by day.
That's awesome.
We've inspired your daughter. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
There's at least your one person, right?
There we go. Yeah. She's awesome.
So the YouTube thing, so that came after you started Rad.
Yeah.
Like the YouTube channel and going that direction.
The YouTube thing actually started to get more exposure for Rad Swim. I was like, these YouTube influencers are like the most effective. If we send them swimsuits and there's placement in a YouTube video, it works really well. In addition, they have like millions of subscribers. And I was like, if we just start like recording our family every day, we could maybe get a big following. And then a lot of that would come back to Rad Swim and just grow that business as well. So it's just an alternative way to get exposure for our products. And another way to get
that's interesting. You found that YouTube was kind of more effective for you guys. Do you still find that, like, as you're doing collaborations, do you still try to lean on YouTube as opposed to Instagram?
I'd probably say it's about equal, almost.
I try and utilize all the different platforms. I actually love Pinterest. It's one of my favorite, least time consuming, but yields great results. Yeah. I feel like YouTube for our family has just mostly been a lot of fun and a great way to preserve our memories.
Well, no, and I was going to say that's how it started,
but
it's definitely morphed into something way different now.
Yeah. It's been great. And it's given Khyl an outlet for his creativity because Khyl is extremely creative. So he needed to.
So creative.
Yeah.
I was like, creative.
You are so creative.
So
Yeah.
do you kind of head the YouTube channel and you kind of head Rad? Is you guys kind of split duties in at this point?
Yeah, we help
Yes.
each other with both, but mostly, yeah.
So with the YouTube stuff then, is it just basically like a family vlog almost that you've turned into a channel? Or because like I've checked, I watched some of them. I mean, you've had the one with your kids went to the store and like picked out the different things to jump into the pools.
Yeah.
And that's got over 1 million views.
Yeah, don't jump in the wrong mystery pool. So we started out as a vlog, and some vlogs, they grow really fast and they do really well. And I tried vlogging for like a year and it just wasn't really working. It's hard. YouTube's hard to get started, definitely. And so after about a year and a half, I just took some time off and I started helping Michelle again with Rad Swim. But then after another 6 or 8 months, I realized I can't just quit the YouTube thing. So I came back. We kind of pivoted into a different style of channel. It's a little bit more of a challenge channel. It's less of a vlog. So now we do one video a week, and it's usually a challenge style channel. And so on YouTube right now, one of the really popular creators is Mr. Beast. I don't know if you guys have seen him or not.
Yeah.
But, well,
He's your next guest, right?
I love Beast. So he actually just reposted something. We had a gold yeller. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
No.
So he does like stop motion with Lego.
oh, cool.
And he creates these little stop motion videos. And Mr. Beast just reposted. And he was like freaking out that
Oh my gosh.
he had like put one of his videos up and stuff. So
I would freak out. That's super
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That's great. We met him. Rock up.
I kind of want to start a Mrs. Beast channel.
Yeah, Michelle's
Just
wanted to
throwing
do
that
a
out there.
Mrs.
If any
Beast
girls listening want to start Mrs. Beast,
with women.
yeah,
Yeah.
women challenges. It'd be fun.
So is that what
So it's kind of.
I'm not big on YouTube. I am not big on social in general. Like I got back on when the podcast started because I was like, this is probably the only way
Yeah.
to help people find out about this if we're going to do it. So still new to the whole social world.
Well, a lot of our YouTube videos are kind of like that. So the last to leave. What are some of the last to leaves that we've done that have done really well?
I'm looking at the bubble one right now.
Last to leave a bubble.
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah, so one of our friends gave us a 10-foot like
this thing's
plastic igloo, and we just played last to leave. You know, you just put the kids in there, and I think we played this one with them a little bit. But we put them in there. Last one to leave gets $100. Mr. Beast does like $10,000 and $100,000. With our kids, we're like, you get $100. Yeah,
It is
it's
so
still
fun to
fun.
see our kids be involved and just to wonder like what strengths it might be giving them and what it might be helping them with. Because it's been, our youngest is 8 now, and I watch her just heading up photo shoots with her little nephew, right? She'll take one of our phones and just have the most creative photo shoot session. And I'm like, I don't think that's normal. But I think she's so used to just, you know, being in photo shoots and being in front of the camera, and it's
a part of
she's
her
got
life. Yeah.
now she has a little side job.
Just total second nature. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, my 3-year-old, she knows how to work the phone and she's like taking pictures. I'm like, you do that better than I do that.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I had a thought. How long when did you start Rad? I don't think I ever asked.
Let's see. Fall of 2014.
Okay.
Pretty much launched January 2015.
Okay.
Which we didn't know that would be the perfect month to launch, but it totally was. Like that's resort, you know, everyone's going on vacations
Yep.
but
So
it's
we
not
just passed a 5-year mark.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Last
awesome.
month. Oh, we need to have a party or something.
Yeah.
And how long has the YouTube channel been going?
Probably 4 years. What do you think?
Yeah, 3.5. I mean, since we came back, it's been about 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of more what I look at. Because before that, we only had like 400 subscribers. So,
What do you credit like the growth to? Was it a specific strategy? Was it you just
on YouTube?
yeah, you felt like one video just kind of hit and that took off, or
Yeah, so when you're small, when a video hits and takes off, it gets like 1,000 views and you're super stoked. And YouTube is it's just like progressive like that. Like back in the day, like 10 years ago, people could be brand new and get a video to go viral on YouTube. And that's very rare now, like extremely difficult. So now it's just kind of like building on these small these really small videos, and then it gets bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger to where, yeah, some of our videos have recently reached 1 million, which we're super stoked about.
It's crazy.
But that's taken time. It definitely takes years. I mean, some people grow faster than we do, but for us, it's just taken years. And that's a common thing now with YouTube.
Well, that's the thing I think people don't realize is if someone's new to you now, they get on your social and they see 100,000 here, almost 200,000 there. They're like, oh, that's easy for these guys. You know, like they see the number of views you're getting and they're like, oh, I want to do that. And they go and they get 10 views on a video or 100 views and like, oh, not going to work. I'm out.
Yeah.
And they go do something else, right? It's like, okay, that's not working for me because I'm not getting 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like
consistency is key.
Yeah.
You just 10 minutes a day or whatever it is for you, you know.
But I think that's such an important lesson, and all of our business owners have come on something similar. It's like you just got to start, but more important than starting is continuing.
Yes.
And you do it over and over and over again.
That's
it's that compounding effect that really starts to
That's the lesson that YouTube has taught me is grit. You cannot just go in casually and just try it here and there and just work on it here and there. You need to just not quit.
And also just know there will always be ups and downs. Like there'll always be times when you're like, this is too hard. Why am I doing this? I should just quit. You know, I think I would imagine maybe that even happens forever, no matter how big you are. Because even at this point, some days I'm like, man, life would be so much easier if I wasn't running Rad Swim. Like maybe I should, you know, scale back or try and sell it. But then I just remember the purpose behind it, and you just keep going through the hard times. You just stick to it, you know?
So what's next for Rad and what's next for the YouTube channel? Like what makes you guys excited right now?
You go first. Yeah,
okay.
You go first.
So I've always had a goal to get my tween swimsuits into Nordstrom.
Okay.
I just would love them to be more accessible to more of the youth, and I just think it'd be super cool. So I've had my sights set on that, but I'll be even if that doesn't happen, I'll still be happy with the growth we've had and the journey we're on. So anyway, I have that like in the back of my mind, but
do you want more storefronts, or are you happy with
probably
just
not.
the one?
I love the one. It's just our flagship store, and I like online sales a lot. It's just really easy. Brick and mortar has taken more time.
Which the store actually does pretty well. I thought it was just going to be a cost center, but it actually is profitable. So
yeah, because you see Shark Tank, people come on and they're successful online and they're talking about moving to brick and mortar, and most of the sharks are like, no, stay away.
And a lot of people said that to me too before we opened it. They're like, are you sure? Like if you're succeeding online, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But once again, it was just a good feeling I had. And it also has freed up a little bit of time because I had a lot of people coming to my house trying stuff on. So I felt like our house was being filled with swimsuits. And it was fun, like hanging out with all the moms. But I also just want to be a mom myself.
And it had become a shipping warehouse. And that's cool. We do shipping.
We were like swimming in swimsuits at our house. So it was time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were there before Fizz, right?
It was pretty close to the same time, but they were before us.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's like that was a good match right there. The drive-through right there with it's all women.
Crazy?
Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
So it was so meant to be.
Totally.
And that's how everything I feel like has been.
It's like if you're in Utah and you're opening a soda shop, like I almost feel like you should open, like you guys should have we should talk to Kevin and get you a Sodalicious franchise and build another Rad and like combine them. Because it's just like
instead of ship and sip, it's swim and sip.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the ship and sip place.
Well, you know, it's funny. There's a shipping place right next door too.
That's right. UPS stores is right there. Wow.
I know, right?
Look what we just did.
Planned it better.
Look what we just did.
That's right. I love it. Smart.
Yeah. Well.
So what about the YouTube channel? What's exciting? Like, do you see it evolving more, or do you want to just keep doing more and more of what you're doing?
Yeah, so we're getting consistent growth on that channel, and I think in the summertime, because the kids will be out of school, we'll be able to go bigger on some videos.
When you say go bigger, making more videos, or just like...
Well, right now we're limited to just one video a week. It's basically the extent of what I can do with the girls. Like they have other time obligations, and it's hard with them being in school full time. at the one video a week, I feel like we're barely hanging on. But in the summertime, we'll be able to go to 2 or 3 videos a week and maybe even do videos that, sometimes they take all day to film. And now it's like we're limited to like this 3 to 4 hour filming window. But that'll be cool to have more time. And then the other thing we're doing is we've started 2 new channels. Michelle has a vlog channel, a new family vlog channel, where it is more like, we're not daily yet, but it's more like a day in the life of. So it's Michelle.
I'm sorry, it's not going to work because I knocked the camera out of her hand when I met her today.
Did it break?
Oh my God.
It still functions, right?
This camera cannot be broken.
Yeah.
Can't stop fate.
I introduced myself and all of a sudden I hear a crash. I look back and there's a camera on the ground. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, you don't even know. We were out of town a week and a half ago and the kids were like, we were driving the golf cart and we dropped the camera. So yeah, that's this camera. It's doing pretty well.
Good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So we have the vlog channel, and then I have a channel, just Khyl Shumway, where I'm going to be doing more just like guy style stuff. So
Like Mr. Beast style.
no.
No. I just
Maybe
looked him up.
eventually.
I didn't know who he was. I'm sorry to say, but holy crap, he's got some videos. Like the 30,000 roses in the house. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
It's like I got 30,000 roses for my girlfriend. And 2 big like box trucks roll up, and they
my
they
gosh.
decorate the whole house like it's just covered in roses.
He sets the standard high, right?
That's
He does.
crazy.
Yeah. He's 21 years old, and he just gives away all his money, and someone's
This thing, he passes out his credit card at
yeah.
Target or Walmart and just said, "Here you go, whatever you're getting. Here's my card. Go ahead."
Yeah. They said,
30
what's
million
your
views
goal?
though, so he's making some bank.
He is, but he's giving it away. And he was asked, what's your goal? Are you not in it for the money? He said, no, I just want to be number 1.
Wow.
So I think he's well on his way.
There
So.
you go.
Dang.
Well, so before I want to pivot a bit, where can everyone find all of these things we've talked about? We've talked about YouTube channels and swimwear. I mean, so where's the best place to find all of this stuff for you guys, for anyone who's listening?
Okay, so for Rad Swim, we have a website, radswim.com. You can find us on Instagram, rad_swim. And then I'll let you share the...
For YouTube, it would just be the Shumway Show.
Okay.
And if we're doing other stuff, we'll probably post about it there and tag.
That's
any
kind of the
other
hub, though.
accounts.
Everything else kind of go from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. You can find Taylor's company through Taylor Nicole Apparel is her Instagram. I don't know. What else? We've kind of got a lot of random. You can find me on...
We'll post it all too.
Yeah,
on
there
our
will be
post.
links to everything in the show
Well,
notes.
thanks,
so.
guy.
All your links are on I just looked the YouTube, like the front page of your YouTube channel. You've got all your.
all the links. There you
Cool.
go. That makes it easy.
So the pivot I want to make was intel from Mr. Jason Shammy. He's like, make sure you get Khyl to talk about something. And I'm sure you probably know where this is going. All Jason said in the text was, Khyl survived a plane crash. Ask him about it.
Yes, I did.
And so
It was amazing.
what happened?
So I guess it depends on how much time we have, but there's the really quick, there's the nitty gritty version, like the 5 minute. No.
Well, that's what Jason said. He's like, you actually need another podcast with just him to come on and talk about that. And I was like, well, we'll see what happens with this.
Yeah, because the truth is he'll do like firesides and devotionals, and it takes a good hour. It's a story full of a lot of little stories and miracles. But
I can definitely give you the not the quick version, but just kind of like the shortened version. And the thing that I always try to start out with is there were just so many miracles that all just kind of added up to save my life. But the quick version is we were flying up to Alaska for a fishing trip. Michelle's dad was a pilot, and so it was him, and then it was Michelle's 18-year-old brother. And then my other brother, you guys married sisters, right? So me and this other guy, Ben Gunn, we married
Stephanie's
sisters
husband.
also.
Okay.
Yeah. So we married sisters also. And we were
I didn't realize that was Stephanie's husband.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
we were flying over the waters of Alaska and just flying through a storm, and we ran out of gas. And so we had to ditch the plane in the waters in Alaska. Luckily, it was mid-July, so it's kind of like the warmest the water gets there, which was 50 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah. So
water, you mean ocean?
Yes. Well, it was more of an inlet.
Okay.
It was about 30 miles west of Juneau.
Gotcha.
About a mile and a half off the coast of a random logging island called Chichagof Island. And so when we crashed, it was the sun was just setting, and we hit the water, with the door open. Gary had told us to open the door because you don't want to be stuck in a sinking plane. So 4 of us made it out of the plane alive, and only 2 of us made it to shore. So it took us about
a mile and a half.
Yeah, it was a mile and a half swim. But, and you've got swimmers out there that are like, I've got a couple guys on my swim team that swim the mile event.
In a pool.
It only takes them like 18 minutes.
With no currents?
So there was the
With
current,
warm water.
there was the tide.
Yeah.
The current and the tide were the biggest factors. And just hypothermia was the number one thing. So.
And the average person, you should tell them the stat real quick, can only survive... What is it?
I should
just roundabout. It's like
the Coast Guard had some tips on their website about surviving cold water survival, and it basically just says, don't swim, just huddle together in a group, stay where you're at, preserve your warmth, your body warmth, and I'm just glad I didn't read any of that because the Coast Guard didn't show up. I mean, we could hear them way off in the distance with helicopters, but they weren't even anywhere close to us. We later found out we were like way outside their search grid.
But also, just to give you an idea of the temperature, I think the average person only survives, was it 20 minutes in water that cold?
Yeah.
So I was going to guess like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. And it was a good hour and a half.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do a different episode where we can dive into it if you ever want to come back. I think that would be a ton of fun to talk about.
That sounds cool.
But
if anyone wants to hear a survival story, it's a very cool one.
We need to do that. That would be fascinating to hear. That's I mean, just a mile and a half in that temperature. I mean, I know it's an inlet, but still there's tides and currents and the sun setting. So July in Alaska.
And killer whales.
Dude,
we
let's
later
not forget
out.
about
and
that.
Grizzly bears on the island where we swam to. So, but
seaweed at the very end.
But it was interesting how I do feel like
Crazy.
God or Heavenly Father, whatever you want to call him, I feel like he saved my life. Definitely. I feel like he, through the Holy Ghost, was giving me instructions on what to do to save my life. And I just, big shout out to that. I'm very grateful for that.
Wow.
And
man, if there's one theme from all of this from you guys, it's just like how faith-based everything is, like how everything has been. I followed the Spirit. I followed my intuition, all this plan. It's just, that's what stands out talking to both of you guys is just how that has totally led all avenues of your guys' life. And I think that's so rad that not only you guys recognize it, but that you're willing to talk about it. Because I think a lot of people maybe don't want to or don't want to mix maybe spirituality with business and that kind of stuff. But I think that's pretty awesome.
Thanks.
Well, it makes it very obvious that you're here for a reason, right? Like all this stuff is succeeding for a reason. And I mean, especially with kids, I mean, swimwear, you would never think swimwear, but it's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got to give credit where credit is due. I know that I couldn't have done any of this without him.
Right. For sure.
And I always, from the very beginning, told him that I would always give him credit. And I think that's something that you have to remember as things grow and you start seeing success to continue giving the credit where it's due.
Yep.
Anyway.
The second you forget, it goes away.
Yep.
Right. And so, I mean, and now your kids, I mean, because the YouTube, I mean, just think of how many people you can touch through, I mean, just your social media and your YouTube alone. I mean, it's millions of people. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hopefully we can inspire people along the way.
So if you guys had like one message, like one parting message, what would that be for someone who's listening today? Like, what would you hope that someone takes away from this today? Kind of put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's a big question.
Don't listen to the Coast Guard. We know that one. That's crazy that they would tell you to just, sorry.
Yeah.
I totally derailed your question, but it's crazy that they would just tell you to like.
Well, that's just like the general guidelines that
like in the water
seeing on their website. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Because swimming, it pumps blood to the arms and legs and you cool faster. But So back to
Right, sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I just kind of want to highlight one thing that Michelle said, which was just don't function based on fear. Just follow your intuition. If you feel strongly about something, and I think it does come back to faith. Have faith that there is a higher power, even if you need to refer to God as that. Believe that there's a higher power who's interested in your success and that they can be a guiding hand.
And pray. The first thing that popped in my head when you said that, I was like, well, we didn't even talk about that, but a little bit we did in a roundabout way, but would be to start, if you're looking to start something or looking to do better at whatever you're doing, to start with prayer.
Yeah.
Just start there. And then from there you can be guided.
That's awesome.
We actually pray before we film YouTube videos with our kids.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because some of them
seen
get
a difference.
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
We just have noticed. And if we start,
it keeps the kids from fighting.
Work out. We're like, prayer.
Yeah. It keeps me from getting too anxious. And yeah, we get along so much better.
Yeah.
So
what a great message. And I mean, along with your story, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be successful, but it's going to be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So as long as you follow your intuition and you act, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but it guarantees that you're heading in the right direction.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
That's true.
Well,
Very cool.
you got any other questions?
No, I already derailed it enough. My ADD kicked in. I couldn't let go of that whole huddling in the water thing. It just didn't make sense to me. So thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
But no, we would love to have you back to talk more about that.
That would be a lot of fun.
What a crazy
Cool.
story. But yeah, very inspiring. That's awesome. Thanks for coming, you
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
Thanks
guys.
for having
Thank
us
you
on.
so much.
Appreciate it.